But that didn't last very long because I had to leave Kenya.
So let's talk about you leaving. Like, what was that decision about?
My career in advertising was doing pretty well. I'd worked on some pretty big campaigns by that point. I'd even won a couple of awards, which was still, like, it was cool. It was not expected that someone who was a copywriter and hadn't been a copywriter that long would be getting all these accolades. So I was doing pretty well at Ogilvy, but I felt like I needed an education in advertising, because I thought, again, advertising is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life from now on. So how about we go and get some education? So I used to call acting my craft, and I used to call advertising my trade. I have a trade and a craft. It sounded so pretentious when I think about it now. But I wanted to go to school, and I had the chance. I had the time. I wasn't getting any younger, and I was like, yo, I'm in my late 20s. I might as well go do it now, because who knows what's going to happen from this point on. So I identified a university. I was going to be going to Syracuse University in June of 2007. And so I remember the last major gig that I emceed was TSO 2006.
Yeah.
Totally sold out. And that's when I got to hang out with you and a few other people.
The one at Bapo? No. Not the one at Parklands Baptist?
No. It was at, it was on Gong Road.
Nairobi Chapel.
It was Chapel, Chapel on Gong Road. And we filled an entire, starting from 10 p.m. all the way up to 5 a.m.
Yep. And
it was act after act after act after act after act, and we had everyone on that stage, from Mission Driven to Hip Hop to Dana Seda to Jemima Thiongo to Zaidi ya Mziki to Daddy Owen. All these acts just coming on. There was a reggae group. Heart and Soul. Oh my God. All to Kiki. All these acts just up and onto that stage and off, and on that stage and off.
So is this now your first time in the MC world?
Yeah, on a big stage, yeah. That was the first time I was actually MCing.
So under K Crew was the first time that now you began to explore your MC side.
Yeah. And if I had not left the country, I would probably still been a part of K Crew to this day. Still, maybe. I don't know. My life would have taken a different direction. But in June 2017, after having had a pretty decent run in advertising, having tried to do as much as I could with acting, I was like, yeah, I think it's time. And I, at this point, had been serving quite a bit at Nairobi Baptist Church. I'd become acquainted with all this new talent that was coming out. I was trying to mentor young dudes. And then it was time to go. And in June 2017, I left and went to the US. Became a student there.
Coffee break. Coffee break.
Let's do it.
When we come back, let's now enter that story.
Sure.
The USA experience, because there's some crazy stories in there.
Yeah, that's true.
Welcome to wait, let me hit that record.
Part 15, part 20.
Hey guys,
21.
welcome to episode 102. Again, I'll say this is without a doubt the longest conversation that I've had on the Playhouse, but I am loving every single step of it, because it's such an amazing journey of progress. A lot of people see. I had somebody who I know who loves to say people see the glory but never get to know the story. On the Playhouse, you see the story to the glory. Quotable. I've been shooting Mugashi. I think we've been shooting for like 6 hours.
Oh my God.
If not even more. But the story is amazing. So anyway, all I'll just say is, if you're catching us here, do yourself a favor and catch us from the first episode. So Mugash, unaenda majuu, you're going up.
Yeah.
As Kenyans like to say.
Yes.
You're off to the US of A to better your skills in
advertising.
Very shocking.
So I was going there to do my master's. I left in 2007 June, arrived It was mid-June, late June, middle of the summer. And yeah, I was going to a pretty reputable school on partial scholarship to study advertising, which I was quite excited about. It was a one-year course, and I can summarize the studies in this way. Syracuse is a good school. The particular college that I was going to, the S.I. Newhouse School of Public Communications, was also a really good school. And it was a communications college within, Syracuse University. There was 15 of us in the advertising unit. 2 Kenyans, a bunch of Americans, a couple of Chinese people. I can't, for the life of me, remember the other nationalities.
Yeah.
But we were assured pretty much that once after we had joined, that, oh, you guys are the cream, man. You guys are the shit. In fact, people are going to be stumbling over themselves to hire you in a year. So, come, show up, do the hard work, and then start to make your job applications when we're about 3/4 way in, and you should be good. By this time next year, you'll probably be working your advertising jobs in various places around the US.
Made it.
Yeah, that's what I imagined. So the plan was I was going to be done with school and then probably stick around for a couple of years, work at an ad agency in New York, if I was lucky, and then come back to Kenya after a few years, having gained experience, and then probably try and take over the industry here from that point. That was the plan. God was just LOLing while he was watching. just LOLing.
Laughed this cold.
So in a year's time, when I was coming to the end of the studies, after having survived a cool summer into a brutal winter into another really nice summer, when we were barely days, like just, I think probably 1-2 days, it was like true theatrical cinematic fashion. We're done with our studies, and then this big bank/investment company called Lehman Brothers shut down, and the Dow just dropped, and suddenly it was official. America's economy is in the toilet. We're in the middle of a recession. Things are bad. At this point, I was still making applications at some certain ad agencies. There was one in particular to which we'd obviously taken a mutual liking. And this agency happened to be Ogilvy in New York. And I had attended 3 interviews. The 3rd interview ended up being the best one because it seemed I was asking most of the questions. And it seemed, it looks like I'm going to be hired by this agency. It looks like, yeah. I was going to be working in the client service department, and I was going to be working on an account called Six Flags. Six Flags is this line of theme parks, very popular theme parks. Hey, but like I said, God was LOL.
You even knew where you were going to be working?
Yeah. Like I said, I'd attended like 3 interviews. The last interview was pretty much the final one. It did seem like there was pretty much no doubt that I was going to be hired. The only thing I was waiting for was an offer letter. And the reason why I knew they were considering hiring me was I received an email from the liaison. Now, because I was an international student, I had to go through 2 liaisons, the HR person and someone who was dealing with like international, because it was a big, Ogilvy, New York is huge. So I received an email, and it says, "Hi Mugambi, thank you. We really put on a good couple of interviews, and we really wanted to go on to the next step. But unfortunately,
oh my God,
as you know, we're in the middle of a recession, and therefore a lot of clients are not going to be spending as much money in the next few months, and we're going to have to institute a hiring freeze." This wasn't our decision. It was a decision of our parent company, which was WPP. But Ogilvy, New York pretty much said they're not going to be hiring any new people for the next few months. And I'll never forget how the email said something to the effect of, this is gonna blow over soon, and then it'll be back to business as usual, and then we'll give you a call. And all of us imagined this was gonna blow over quickly. This was in July of 2008. And you know how the story went. Even 2 years later, they still went out of that recession. So needless to say, I didn't get hired by this agency. And I didn't get hired by any other agency. And a lot of the students in this class, graduating class, didn't find the jobs they wanted. And things didn't turn out as we thought they would. So here I am in this difficult situation where I had prepared myself for a job. I had prepared myself
for
a life in the US. And suddenly, I have to move out of this student apartment because the next school year is about to begin. The school year beginning in September. So I had to have vacated my apartment by the end of August. By around mid-August. And I remember not being ready to leave and not having a place to go. So God bless my landlady, who said, listen, I know what your situation is like, so this is what we'll do. The stuff that's in that apartment that's yours, pack it up into boxes. I'll store it for you. The stuff that you can carry with you, and I'll put you up in another house that has other people who've moved in. But because all the bedrooms are occupied, and this was the kind of house where people would occupy bedrooms, like there's a lot that happens a lot in the States. Someone will take an apartment building or an actual full standing house, and then apportion rooms in the buildings, in the room, and those become individual apartments. So I was living in a really pretty nice studio apartment where it was, bed, little kitchen area, bathroom area, and that was my entire board. I liked it. I didn't mind it at all. But now I moved into a living room where I was sleeping on the couch, and all my belongings were there. And if I wanted to brush my teeth, I'd retrieve it from the suitcase, and then, if I needed any clothing, I'd have to retrieve it from the suitcase a day before because I didn't have an iron now, and I had to put them up so they wouldn't get creased. And all I had was my 2 suitcases, my laptop, a living room couch, and that's it. That was hard. Those were hard days.
Dude.
They were hard days because you're like, now what? How long can I stay here? How long am I going to stay on this couch? What's going to happen? About 6 months before that, in January, in the heart of the tough winter, my friend Nick, who you might remember as the guy
barefoot.
that I met, the barefoot Mzungu, had now moved to America with his wife, newly married, whose name is Monica Obaga, who's the daughter of Obaga, Mr. Obaga, who was the music director.
Was a Kijiji artist.
Who? Monica? Oh yeah, Monica actually worked with Kijiji for a bit, yeah. So they just moved to America, and they were living in, they landed, and because they landed in the middle of the winter, they wanted to go west to where it was warmer and then find their way back east and then settle somewhere. So by this point, they had settled in Philadelphia. And Nick and I would be in touch, and I told him what was happening. And I told him, yo, dude, it looks like I'm not going to get a job. And now I'm living in this house where I live in a living room, and I have to share a bathroom with other people, and I feel like I'm invading on this space, and it's strange. And
how are you eating?
You find a way. I mean, it's America. You'd find ways. It's a campus in America, so you can find cheap places to eat.
How did you have money?
Remember I was on partial scholarship, so I'd saved up a bit of money.
Uh-huh.
And then I was also receiving a little bit of support from my folks, but it was just a little bit. It wasn't much. So at the point, the other bit of belongings that I had in this living room was a laundry basket. It was one of the things I'd bought. So the last thing that I was moving with was my laundry basket. And I remember walking as the sun was going down, because I'd been moving, and it's in the middle of the summer, so the sun is going down at about 8:30 p.m. So it's about 8 and the sky has started turning all these colors, and I'm walking with this thing that's a bit heavy because there was some clothes in there. And I sat in this living room and I was like, yo, man, this can't be my life. Like, I've jumped from one house. Oh yeah, there was another house I jumped into in the middle. And I had to clean my house, move out of that because someone was going to move in. And the landlady was like, move to this other place, but you can only be there for about 2 or 3 days, and then you're going to have to clean up there and then move to this living room. And then from the living room, you'll figure out what to do.
But she was good. She was friendly.
Oh, she was wonderful.
I mean, at least you didn't have to pay rent for that.
No. She was very
kind
wonderful.
of her.
Very kind person. Really kind person. The reason why we struck up a friendship real quick was because she was from Trinidad and Tobago. And I had visited Trinidad and Tobago a couple of times. So I told her, oh gosh, my dad works there and I've visited. And we sort of struck a bit of a friendship from that point. A wonderful, wonderful lady, wherever she is. Yeah, wherever you are, man. God bless you, man. Like, that lady was amazing. So Nick gives me a call and he's like, yo, listen, we have a spare room in our apartment. Why don't you come and stay with us for a couple of weeks when you get on your feet? Because, this thing is going to end, you'll find a job. But before that happens, for the few weeks that you need to settle down, because again, we thought this was going to blow over, come and stay with us. And we're tired of eating cereal. We both cook, but we eat cereal at night because we don't have a person to cook for. So come and stay with us and we'll figure this thing out together. And I was like, Nick, thank you so much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the rest of my stuff in storage, and then I'll have a suitcase because I'll be with you for a couple of weeks and we can sort this thing out. And he was like, hey, Mugash, how I like to travel. I hate being in one place for a long time. And I've been here all summer and I'm starting to feel claustrophobic. So let me make the drive out there with my van. We'll throw your stuff into my van. You don't have to put anything into storage. Come, you'll store it here. And I'm like, dude, man, that's really kind of you. You don't have to do it. And he was like, it's no worries. So when do we do it? And I said, day after tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, he was there, parked. We packed the things into his van and drove to Philly. And this was in September of 2008. Summer was slowly coming to an end. Fall was starting to show up, and the rest of that year, it was sending CVs, getting turned down, not hearing back from people, coming this close to getting a job, having things fall through. And I remember a country was trying to figure out where it was at. A Kenyan in this country was trying to figure out where he was at. Nick and Monica were trying to figure out where they were at. Everything was all just so strange. Like, what's going on? So in January, I was like, man, we're done, this is not working. I'm gonna try and be an actor again.